When your identity, your emotions, your goals begin pointing in the same direction, something powerful starts to happen. You begin to experience moments where the work becomes easier, ideas come faster, decisions feel clearer, and time just seems to disappear. That experience is called flow. And it's not just a pleasant feeling. It's one of the clearest signs that your energy, your values, and your intentions are aligned. And when that alignment happens, you're able to operate with a level of creativity, efficiency, and insight that's, hard to access any other way. Today, we're going to talk about what the flow state is and how you can create the conditions where it shows up much more often in your work. Stay tuned. Psychologists describe flow as a state of deep, absorbed focus where action and awareness merge. You're not overthinking, you're not second guessing, you're simply responding to what's in front of you. Time seems to stop, self-consciousness fades, and work that might normally feel heavy suddenly feels natural. Athletes experience it, musicians experience it, writers experience it. We all experience it from time to time in whatever area our passion lives in. Entrepreneurs experience it when they're creating, solving, building, and leading from a place of true service. And when you're in flow, your best thinking shows up and your actions have more impact. But here's the important thing. Flow isn't something that you can force. What you can do, however, is create the environment where it is much more likely to appear. Now, before we talk about practical tactics to encourage flow, there's one thing you need to know. At the root of flow is presence. Flow happens in the present moment, not in yesterday's regret or in tomorrow's anxiety, not in the comparison spiral of what everyone else is doing. Flow happens when your attention is fully here. When you're present, the mental noise quiets, the fog clears, and suddenly the next step becomes visible. So the first practice that invites flow is simply this. Pause, take a slow breath, and bring your attention fully into the task in front of you. Presence is the doorway into flow. Now, once presence is established, there are several practical things that dramatically increase the likelihood of entering flow. Let me share a few of the most powerful. Number 1, define one clear outcome. You see, flow loves clarity. If you sit down and say, I'm going to work on my business, your brain doesn't know where to focus. But if you say, I'm going to reach out to 10 people today to schedule a time to connect, or I'm going to outline that next module of my program, your mind has a direction. And clarity organizes attention, and organized attention invites flow. Number 2, remove distractions. See, flow requires uninterrupted attention. Notifications, messages, multiple browser tabs, all of those things keep the brain in scanning mode. And scanning mode is the opposite of immersion. So when you want to enter flow, close the extra tabs, silence the notifications, put the phone in another room if you can. You're not just protecting your attention. You're clearing a sacred space where flow can enter. Number 3, choose a challenge that stretches you. You see, flow sits in a sweet spot. If something is too easy, you get bored. If something is far beyond your current ability, you feel overwhelmed. But when the challenge stretches you just slightly beyond your comfort zone, your mind locks in and flow takes over. That's the sweet spot. See, we want you to stretch, not just splatter. This is why entrepreneurs often experience flow when they're solving problems they know are meaningful, when they're building something new that's been marinating for a while, or expressing ideas that matter to them. Growth invites engagement, and engagement invites flow. Number 4, give yourself permission to be imperfect. One of the biggest flow killers is self-judgment. That inner voice that's always saying things like, this isn't good enough, or what will people think, or, well, maybe I should rewrite that thing yet again. You see, evaluation pulls you out of creation and out of the present. So when you begin a focused work session, try this perspective. This is not the final version. This is the first movement of energy. There's time for refinement later. Flow requires freedom from judgment. Number 5, start before you feel ready. This might be the most important practical point. Because you see, many people think flow shows up before they begin. They believe they need to wait for that inspiration and then start. In reality, flow often arrives 10 or 15 minutes after you start. You begin with a little bit of resistance, then you move through it, and then at some point, something begins to click in. Momentum builds, and you're in it. So instead of waiting for inspiration, begin. Action invites flow. Now, the last thing I want to share with you is that flow is where the energy of the universe meets us. This is the thing that's kind of harder to measure, even to talk about, but many of us have experienced it. Sometimes when we create the right conditions, when we're present, focused, and engaged, something more seems to meet us there. Ideas appear that we didn't plan on. Connections emerge between seemingly unrelated thoughts. Solutions suddenly reveal themselves. Call it intuition, call it creativity, call it universal intelligence or spirit, or, well, whatever language you prefer. Flow often feels like a collaboration between our intention and something larger moving through us. That collaboration requires our presence. It requires us to be open to inspiration, curious about unexpected thoughts or feelings, and receptive to what we're being subtly shown. This is the real magic of flow, when our desires and intention meet divinely inspired creativity. Sometimes those realizations we have in this space, they can be shocking, maybe even terrifying. But when we're open, when we're curious and receptive, this is where alignment can be the strongest. So if you want to experience flow more often, remember this: be present, define a clear outcome, remove distractions, stretch yourself just a bit, allow imperfection, start before you feel ready, and be open to the divine, however you think about that. When those conditions are in place, flow stops feeling random. It becomes something that you can access much more consistently. Now, if you'd like support learning how to create flow in your work more consistently, I'd love to help. Reach out at the link in the description below and request a conversation with me. Because when you learn how to access flow more often, your work gets better, your energy changes, your building your business becomes a lot more enjoyable and profitable. Now, in our next video, we'll talk about the single most important thing to do to not only enter the flow state more regularly, but to build your business faster. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. My name is Boehnke, and till next time, I wish you abundance and joy.